Oftentimes, when I'm about to hire someone, and the only thing on the mind of the person, without even thinking of what is going to deliver, is how much you're going to pay, I don't have a problem with that. It worries me. So I was going to hire a lady, and she said to me she wanted ₦500,000. Not a problem. Then I asked her, can you deliver 5 million every month? Then she looked at me and she said, I wanted to kill her. Question, where was she expecting me to get 500,000 to pay her when she wasn't willing to deliver 5 million? A lot of us come with a mentality of a worker that we do not strive to become a workplace heroes who become indispensable to the organization. And oftentimes, the owners of the organization themselves have a bit of esteem issue that their sustenance or their leadership is dependent on the smallness of the people who follow them. So stay with me in this series. The workplace is a place you must first understand as an incredible worker or as a superstar worker, or else you're going to miss your season. Now, I have realized that one, the workplace is first of all a platform. It's not a place where, especially if you're just starting out, where you make money. If money comes, fine, but it's a platform to prove yourself and build an incredible track record that speaks in your absence and could deliver value in the long run, if you know what you're doing. Now, when I got my first job, my salary was 15,000 naira. Now that's less than $100, way less than 100, maybe half of that, right? Maybe about $50 or something like that. But I knew I had not been proven, I had not been tested. So I said to them, I'll take just any pay cut to get this job done. Let me show what I can do. And by the time I was ready to leave, they were willing to pay me just anything. And one of the first things I did was to send in my resignation letter the day I was hired. And I titled it, Mission Accomplished. I praise, having achieved X, Y, Z, and having achieved 6 things, hereby send my resignation letter. My HR manager looked at me and she felt I was stupid and blah, 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 but trust me, I wanted to work with a sense of urgency, and that was what I achieved. So if you understand that the workplace is first of all the platform, because there are places you may never have been able to get to, but for the ID card of your organization, then you will strive to prove yourself. Number 2, the workplace is a school where you write exams on a daily basis whose result will determine your ultimate placement. I tell people, especially if you're going to become a business owner later in life, that if you work, with a mediocre attitude, the day you start yours, life will pay you back. So you need to understand that even though, don't wait for HR to assess you, you are being assessed daily because you're actually working for God. The company you work in is first of all an idea in the mind of the owner of the company, and God is the giver of ideas. Number 3, the workplace is a refinery where you're subjected to so much heat that is intended to build character into you, but could also destroy you if you don't understand what the intention behind what you're going through, because you could be molded into someone else such that you become bitter, and it may be difficult for you to recover your true self at the end of the day. I remember that there was a woman in my first place of work who used to talk to me anyhow, talk me down, call me a dropout. Meanwhile, I wasn't a dropout because I just picked a job that was below my certification. She just felt she could treat me anyhow, and one day I broke down in tears, and my friend walked up to me and said to me that, praise, in the workplace there are 2 levels of people. You have the fire and you have the water. The role of the water is to refresh you. The role of the fire is to refine you. But the person refining is not going anywhere, which was what happened. I was refined. I became better in handling her. I became a friend. When I left the organization many years down the line, she saw me at the mall. She rushed in my direction, introduced me to her husband, and said, wow, Prince, I'm so proud of you. Can I have your card or your number? Because I've been looking for you everywhere. Now, that's what you need to understand. There is no unpleasant situation that is not built to build character into you, but it's your interpretation of the situation that is different at the end of the day. The workplace, number 3, is a workshop. I think that should be number 4, where you are an apprenticeship being prepared for your freedom. You could be made to do jobs outside what you were hired to do, but it's part of the apprenticeship process. And remember, what you're paid is a privilege, not a right, even though some of you may have a problem with that. But let me explain that. You know what it means for an organization to hire you, send you to Harvard for a training when they're not even sure that you're going to stay with them for 3 years, which is why some organizations sign they sign a bond with their workers to say, if I send you for this kind of training, you need to work for me for XYZ number of years, because at the end of the day, the training is yours. So you need to understand that. It's the biggest apprenticeship model I know, where your boss hires you, you have no experience, then you learn, it teaches you things, then you go work for yourself without even paying, and you get paid to do it. Now, if you see it in that light, then it makes your job easy. Now, when I come back, I have noticed about 4 to 5 different workplace people. Now, but I recommend one that you must be to your boss, because if you are that one, you will become indispensable to your boss. I'll be right back. Welcome back. We're discussing how to become an incredible worker, how to become a workplace hero to your boss, becoming indispensable to your organization as a staff. Now, some of you work right now, and some of you listening to this are HR managers, some of you are business owners. Now, in my work and my research, I have realized that there are different levels of workplace people. Now, the first level I've found is the PESTY sinker. We call them peers. This group of people in the workplace, they have no innovation, no creativity. They are just there to collect salaries. They do the job description without adding anything extra. They often say, it's not my father's company, so why should I kill myself? When you have people say that, or when you're saying that you are a PESTY sinker, you are not adding any innovation, no creativity, you are just there to do the job. As a matter of fact, oftentimes you realize the machine will replace those kind of people. So take people who sit on in traffic lights. If the traffic light were to be functional, they will have no job. So you need to ask yourself, what are you doing right now that a robot can replace you easily, right? So those are the first level of people, PESTY sinker, no innovation, no creativity. They say, it's not my father's company, why should I kill myself? I hope that's not you. Number 2 is the begging noble. Begging noble, they lack initiative and lack positive self-esteem. Their life is dependent on the job. So while they are not adding any value, they do everything to remain in the good books of the boss. They are loyal because their sustenance is gotten from the boss. Now, the thing with the begging noble is they are glorified area boys or social miscreants in the workplace. Now, they do everything to remain in the good book of the boss, so they snoop around for information. They are actually the talebearers in the organization. They are the whisperers that separate the best of friends. Now, because a lot of the bosses they're dealing with have low self-esteem, they care about what people say about them behind their backs, so it's like a user's game. The boss is using this person to search for information. He's using the boss to retain himself in the organization. Usually, these guys don't perform, but they are usually in the good book of the boss. Eventually, they become the boss's PA, or maybe some of them are sleeping with the boss, whatever it is, but there's always something that is not functional in that relationship, so they are the ones who say to the boss, if not for you, we won't be here. If not for you, we're not breathing. And that kind of sound right to the esteem of the boss in this situation, because a lot of business owners do not know that you should care less whether the people who work for you greet you, bow before you, worship you or not. The only question you need to ask is, can they deliver, right, on the job? Are they being good team members? Are they being good team players? And are they delivering based on their deliverable? That's all. But many of us prioritize people worshiping us, kneeling down before us, especially in Africa, than delivering on what they are there to do. Number 3 is the thrifty mercenaries. Thrifty mercenaries. Now, this kind of people, they produce result, but no loyalty. They go for the highest bidder. For them, they're always looking for the next job that is available where they pay more. So in the middle of a project, they never finish the project. They are not closing the door gently. They don't care. So they move on once there's another pay. Because I always say to people that they're going to pay you higher doesn't mean you should live where you are, right? You need to ask yourself, wherever you are working, what is my sense of assignment? What is my sense of vision here? At what point am I done here? The next category of people is the chatterbox. The chatterbox is much talk, less action. They raise so much up wind without rain. If you say, oh, let's do it, they have a lot of ideas, all kinds of ideas generator. But when it comes to implementation, they are nowhere to be found. The next category is the lost coin. The lost coin is the right guy, but in the wrong place, so it looks like a problem. He makes a lot of mistakes. You may need to redirect him. He has a solution that's been applied in the wrong way. I hired one guy who worked for me, amazing guy, passionate, but he never delivered on his result because he was always timid. So I put him in different departments. He just couldn't function. So one day I called him. I said, I noticed that you dress well. That's the one thing about you that I appreciate. So I asked him, have you thought about going into fashion? And he said, well, he's always thought about it, but because he's a twin, his twin brother is a motivational speaker, so he feels he needs to become a motivational speaker. So I had to tell him that you are a twin doesn't mean you must do what your brother is doing. Eventually, I told him, go learn how to sew or something, and I will patronize you. And that was what we did. Today, he manages an entire, fashion line, and I'm so proud of him. I wear his brand sometimes, right? That's a lost coin. That a guy is not performing, or that you're not performing on your job, does not necessarily mean that something is wrong with you. It could mean you're in the wrong department. Imagine putting a people person in accounts department. Imagine putting a systems person in customer service. Is the right guy in the wrong place. You want to redirect them, but where you need to be is to become the hero to your organization. Become a workplace hero. The heroes are thermostats and missionaries. They are vision driven and there to build the organization and the industry. They are like consultants on the run. They finish the assignment before taking their leave. Now, among the heroes, there are two levels. You have the Sparky. The Sparky will spark up the process, but it will show them how to sustain it and implement it. But you have the builder. The builder doesn't just spark it off. He finishes, he completes it. They are finishers. So you need to ask yourself, who are you in that organization? Number two, why are you here? That has to be clear. If it's for the money, when you see higher money, you're going to leave. But if you are here because you love the vision of the organization, I always tell people, never work in a place where you can learn. Never work in a place where your personal vision doesn't align or your future vision doesn't align with the corporate vision of the organization you work for, right? Why are you? And if it doesn't even align, find a reason for being there. Number three, where are you going? It needs to be clear where you want to go with your life so that you don't build the organization around you when you know that you're going to leave after 2 years, right? When will you get there? You need to know when you're going to get there. What do you have? What are your potential? What are your talents? And is it being well maximized in that place? And how will you get there? This is a critical question you need to ask yourself, but trust me, you can become indispensable to your organization. Imagine if the entire turnover, 45% of the turnover of the organization is coming from you. I think our world needs workplace hero. Every organization needs that person, those people who are dependable, who believe in the vision, and they want to be part of something great, right? Because this narrative that everyone needs to work for themselves, even while you're working for someone else, you are still working for yourself. Remember, like I said, you are ultimately working for God, because that idea that is called a company right now was first of all an idea in the mind of the owner of the organization, and God is the giver of idea. Question is, if God were to be the one to retain people in that organization, would he retain you? If God were to be your HR manager, what would be his assessment and rating of you, right? Or maybe they are even overpaying you right now. Are you justifying, the salary for which you are earning right now? It's time to change your ways and prove that you can actually do better than you're doing right now. I always say to people, work for legacy. Don't work for money, because money will come, money will go, but your legacy will remain and it will be part of your testimonials. I honor you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.